right, hello everyone. This is Mick O at Camera Bits HQ, and this is another Workflow Wednesday Live. It's going to be a quick one today. It's just me here, no special guests. But I have a tip that I wanted to share with you about making code replacements easier. Last week, Jeff Vogan showed us some amazing tricks using code replacements in his workflow and folders, and it was very cool. But I noticed that he was using text files as his code replacement file, which is totally great. But there's when I've tried to tell other people about that, it's been a little bit hard to explain. And we recently made a change in Photomechanic that made using Google Sheets a really usable tool to do your code replacement files. So I'm going to dive right in here. In fact, I'm using Google Docs here as my quick and dirty presentation here. The summary is, all I'm going to go over is the fact that code replacement files need to be plain text, UTF-8 format, and columns separated by tabs. In the past, this had to be a .txt file, and we would recommend that folks use text editors that didn't use rich text, and they would need tab keys. And this worked fine for a lot of people. I mean, Photomechanic got very popular using these files, mostly for sports photographers who would use it to add things to their captions, like using jersey numbers to replace player names and whatnot. But recently, I think it was just a couple months ago in Photomechanic 6, we made the change to allow .tsv file names. TSV files actually are text files, just they're tab separated. And so you can create, the upside of this is that you can create a code replacement in Google Sheets and download it, and it's ready to pop into Photomechanic. So I just want to show a quick example of that. So I'm going to open up my Google Sheets here, and in this case I have a code replacement file. Now, just to brush up for folks who might not be familiar with code replacements are a way to take one bit of text and replace it with another bit of text. You create this file with one column of the text that you will type in, and the other text is what you want it to be replaced with. Now, normally, or very commonly I should say, you would have like jersey numbers in this column, and tabs over this column would have player names. In this case, just to change it up a little bit, I want to talk about combining this with variables. But the concept is just, whenever you put something in this tab, you want it to say what's in this tab. And a code replacement file is just going to have these columns, and you'll see here I've used twin slashes, // which just indicates a comment. If you put something in there, it doesn't affect your code replacement file. So I've created this, and what I want to happen as a result of this is when I'm in Photomechanic and I use the variable called lens type, which reports the EXIF data of the lens that was taken. And I'll demonstrate this right now. Let's call up Photomechanic 6, and here's an image. So I'm going to open this up in the IPTC info view, and here's an image I took. And now say I wanted to show some more information about this file, whether it be in the keywords or in this case caption. I might use the lens type variable. And what happens here if I hold down? That variable expands to XF50s. Now, this is a Fujifilm lens. I'm mostly a Fuji shooter, but this is part of the XF data of the file. Now, this doesn't actually have the model name, or it has the model name. It doesn't have the make of the lens. It has a little bit of extra information here. So what I'd like to do is let's just cancel out of that. Let's not save it, and go back to my code replacement. So I have this code replacement file where if I see this, and what I want to display is this, something a little cleaned up, a little more easy for me to read. So I've created this file, and you can do this for really anything you want to do, but this is just one example. So I'm gonna, after I've created this file, you see different columns here. Let's just download this. Download as. Now, this is very important. Tab separate values is down at the end. Exports the current sheet, and that's going to show up in my downloads folder, which is right here. I have a habit of, I've created a folder called PM Parts. I picked this tip up from Bob in our support department. He's very smart at what he does, and he recommends having a folder for this type of thing, PM Parts. This is actually a subfolder of my applications folder. But we'll just throw it in there for now. And let's go back to Photomechanic here, and under File, or excuse me, Edit, Settings, Set Code Replacements. And this dialog comes up. And we're going to add this file. Now I'm going to go over to my PM parts. Here's the TSV file. Like I said, in the past, this needed to be renamed as a .txt file, but we made that change to make this so much easier. And we'll go OK. So now I'm back in here, and let's go back into the IPTC info again. Keyboard shortcut for that is just simply I. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the code replacement, which means using the delimiter. Then I'm going to put the variable in there. So as you'll see, the two equal signs indicate that this is a code replacement, and the curly brackets means it's a variable. So to unpack this, it's going to go back to, if I'm going to call my code replacement file here, if it sees any of this within the equal sign delimiters, it's going to replace with whatever's in this comment, in this column. Let's go back to, if I hold on Option and evaluate that, it says not. Actually, I forgot to. What have I done here? Let's double check this file. Settings. No. Settings, code replacements. It is in there. Delimiter characters. Now I'll call that up again. Oh man, there's something not right here. Let me just, David in the comments says, can you use Excel for this? You can totally use Excel for this if you save it as a .tsv as well. I was just pointing out using Google Sheets because it is a free option. But yes, Excel works great. And as I said, you can still use text editors as well, as long as you're saving it in plain text. Let's go back and do. I might have an error in my file here. I'm gonna add something to my code replacement file here to show you a little bit how this works. So say if this was TB12, and in here it would say. This again. All right, there's something in my code replacement file that is not working, and I'm not sure what it is. Unfortunately, for a live video, this is not ideal. Let's see here. Possible my slashes need to be in there as well. so that finally worked. Let's try this. Okay, so there's definitely an issue with this long string that I put in. I'm going to go in and have to troubleshoot that offline. But as you see, when I use the very simple code here, I'll do it again. TB12, it does replace that. So the code replacement file is working. I have something I need to double check, and looks like there might be a space in this. Let's take one more look. No, I'm not sure about that, but well, here, I know one way to do this. One way to double check these is you can take this and paste that exactly into your code replacement file, which I'm going to try now. Yeah, there was a space in there. That was what did it, so let's download this again. Take that out of downloads and put it into PM parts, Photo Mechanic. You get to see a live debug session, which is probably not very exciting, but possibly helpful. To show you how I do. Let's see, kill this. No. Settings. Let's move this one. We'll add parts 1. All right, let's try this one more time. And there we go, that worked. That was happening. So I added the lens type variable, put it in a code replacement file instead of the basic lens type, which was, just to remind you, lens type on its own, evaluates to this, but I had my code replacement so I could have it this, which is what I wanted in the first place, and everything finally works. So that's the end of this tip of just using Google Sheets. One thing is nice is that you can keep all your code replacements in online. So if you need to access them from your laptop or something, you can always download them if you keep them in your Google Drive. That's very helpful. Let's get rid of this part. And yeah, so if you have, let's see. Oh, Jeff is here. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. You can add the variable to the IPTC template so that the data is inserted when you ingest. That's true. That is very true. I mean, Jeff is why I'm doing this tip, because I love how he uses code replacement. So thanks for that. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions about this, I'll put some links to using code replacements, our documentation. But that'll wrap it up now. If you have any questions, you definitely should hit us up on camerabits.com. You can contact us there. We are currently having a sale on Photo Mechanic. It's $49 for upgrades from previous versions of Photo Mechanic to Photo Mechanic 6. David also asks, can current text files be imported into Sheets Excel and be functional? You could do that, I believe. I think there are some tools if you have a tab-separated TXT file, and if you upload that to Google Drive. I know you can do that in Excel. I'm not certain about Google Sheets. I believe you can. I believe you do a file that's a TSV. It will ask you if you want to convert it to Sheets. And Jeff seems to think that's true as well. But hey, thanks for hanging out with me here on Workflow Wednesday Live. It was a short one, a quick one. We'll be back next week. We may have a special guest. I hope so. But in the meantime, thank you very much, and have a good week, all.